Gold Coast properties surge. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because we're going to look at a good one from Domain regarding Gold Coast properties. So, Gold Coast property is in demand from southern state buyers despite the closed borders. Now, here's a question. Is this just another, real estate fluff piece pushing up Gold Coast property? Which, I grew up on the Gold Coast. It's beautiful down there. It really is. There's some nice beaches. There's some dreadful places as well down there. I wouldn't call it a city. I'd call it a tourist strip clinging to the beach. And there's a reason why Rachel and I settled in Brisbane to have a family and a business. But, it is lovely down there. But could it also be that we now have a large group of people that want to flee Victoria at the first chance they get? We're seeing this happen in the US. California now. Have you been following the news with their proposed wealth tax? Isn't that a fantastic idea to encourage smart people to stay in your state, or people who have great earning power to stay in your state? They want to even tax them once they leave. Let's hope our politicians don't pick up on that idea. Let's really hope they don't. Sounds right up their alley, though. But nevertheless, perhaps is there more demand from for the Gold Coast from Southerners because they want to get out? And will this article actually be based on anything other than search result data? Let me know in the comments while I have a shot of coffee, everyone. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Queensland's border may be closed to New South Wales, Victoria and ACT, but that's proving no obstacle for property hunters from the southern states, with reports of a surge in buyers snapping up homes seen sight unseen. What? Wow. So we'll bring up Google Earth, just so I can show everyone this insane border between Queensland and New South Wales, particularly down near Tweed. It's just, like, from one side of the street you don't know what state you're in, and it can get very, very frustrating. So what do we have here? We'll go borders and labels, and we'll zoom in. We'll zoom in right to here. So here's the Gold Coast, everyone. Here's the Gold Coast. You've got Robina here, Eleonora, Coolangatta down here. And this we see is the border. You've got the Coolangatta Airport breaching the border, which is quite interesting. And you drive under the runway. You drive under the runway when you're driving down to New South Wales, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool with the kids. But you can see here, here's the border. So Queensland and New South Wales. You can see, I'm assuming it should be going up the middle of the street, but here it isn't. Because if it isn't going up the middle of the street, it's going to be hard for these people to get around. So you could, look how easy it is just to cross the border. One side of the street to the other. You're going around here. Okay, here I'm on the border, here I'm not. What's happening? So, yeah, it is a bit of a dog's breakfast of a border, particularly here. I don't know why they just didn't follow the river. They just didn't follow this river down here, and make all of this here part of Queensland. And then just shoot straight up. Why not? I know they picked the mountain range here, but there you go. You could follow the mountain range down along here, hook up to the river, and we get Benora and Coolangatta. There's a solution. Let me know what you think. And then all the people in New South Wales, in Benora and Coolangatta, you could finally barrack for a good rugby team in State of Origin. Wouldn't that be great? And I'll let the comments burn with that statement and keep going. Andrew Bell, Chief Executive of Ray White Surfers Paradise, said since the second phase of the pandemic had accelerated in Sydney and particularly in Victoria, he had seen a dramatic increase in the number of buyers from those states purchasing property on the Gold Coast. He recently sold 9 properties in one weekend, most of which were sold sight unseen or through virtual inspection to people from New South Wales, Victoria and the ACT. At a recent RWSP Group auction, interstate buyers purchased apartments in Surfers Paradise, units in Hope Island, and family homes in Southport and Ashmore. Generally, these people are aged 60 plus. They see Queensland as a safer place to be, and have said to themselves, why am I living here? I'm moving to Queensland. It's as simple as that. We're finding that people who are now reassessing their lives and choosing to move to Queensland is something that's driving the current strong activity in the market. Now, this is something I've mentioned in a few videos. This may be the first opportunity some people have had in their living memory to actually get off the treadmill, to get off the work grind, to get off the treadmill, to stop just chasing. It may be a forced holiday for some people. They may realize they're not happy with their life. They may realize running the rat race to pay off a huge property in Sydney or live in the dictator state that Victoria is turning into isn't worth it. And why not move to sunny Queensland? I mean, for retirement, Gold Coast is perfect. It is perfect if you're going to retire. You know, if you're in your 60s and you have passive income. If you're young and looking for work, I wouldn't recommend it. For the Gold Coast, particularly not Labrador or Southport, I'd be going further up. I'd be going to Brisbane, or I'd be going regional. But if you're looking to retire, it's fantastic. Maybe that's what we're seeing happen. The great majority of interstate buyers who are buying at present are doing so with the intent to move here permanently. Among the interstate buyers, there are also those who want to have the ability to have a property to go to in the future outside of their home state if further pandemics occur. But here's the thing. I wouldn't be buying a property or an apartment, particularly multi-res, in the Gold Coast without getting at least a visual inspection, without getting a really good building pest and having them go through everything, not just the apartment, go through the car park, identify any potential concrete work, a whole lot of things. That's one suggestion. When you're looking around a complex, ask people questions. Ask them questions if there are any problems with the buildings. They may tell you. We had some people tell us all about concrete work, and then I was down the basement, I saw it. You want to look at patching up in the basement. I noticed this when I was working. No, not when I was working. When I had my office in a little retail shopping center out in Yeronga. And what the previous owners had done, there was concrete cancer all through the thing. What they'd done is they just patched it up. They'd hidden it and put, metal above it. And then there was a valuer walking around. He wasn't looking inside. He wasn't looking at anything. They sold it for a fortune. Huge profit. Concrete cancer throughout the whole thing. Fantastic. The latest data from Domain's quarterly house price report revealed the Gold Coast to be one of the strongest property markets in Queensland over the June quarter, with house prices up 1.5%. Actually, house prices are up 5%. Oh, my mother will be happy. Units had also performed relatively well, edging down by 0.3%, a slight fall when compared to other unit markets across the eastern seaboard. The current pandemic climate is currently having a fascinating knock-on effect for the Gold Coast property market, Mr. Bell said. Borders being closed intensifies the interest in people to move to areas such as the Gold Coast. While the interest will continue as Victorian restrictions ease, there will probably be an easing of the desire to move, but it is likely that the interstate buyers will continue for quite some time to come. It is not unusual that when a member of the family moves to Queensland, with time other members of the family follow, and sometimes friends. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I mean, I grew up, don't hold it against me, guys, I grew up in Victoria, until grade 4, and then we used to holiday here all the time. We'd holiday on the Gold Coast in Noosa. My parents actually had a little townhouse in Noosa, and then we settled on the Gold Coast. I did my high school there. And Gold Coast isn't bad, but I prefer Brisbane, although I mean, I'm thinking now, honestly, with the way I'm working from home, we could live anywhere, to be honest, except Victoria. It's too cold now. Mr. Bell said he was now seeing an increase in the volume of stock coming on the market for sale, with listings at Ray White South Surfers Paradise up 30% this month compared to other months this year. The increase in listings has partly come from people who have bought other homes and need to sell their current homes, he said. However, it is noticeable that there is an increase in people selling properties to cash up a little as a result of concerns the pandemic, and all the restrictions will continue well into next year. And cash in their pockets or ridding themselves of debt will make them feel more secure. So there we have it, everyone. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think this will continue? you think it will lead to more opportunities? Would you like to live on the Gold Coast? You know, living there with views of the beach, going down, running around, or in Victoria where you can't leave your house or can only travel 5 kilometers? We'll have to see. Honestly, I could argue that the exact same restrictions would just as likely happen here in Queensland with our Premier. 100%. I mean, it's kind of disappointing it hasn't happened here yet, because then we would have seen how that would have materialized in an election if she would have done it. If people would have, you know, happily goose-stepped to the voting booth and, yes, handed over their freedoms. I wonder. We'll have to see if Dan gets in next time. As always, everyone, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or Kucoin. You can use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, support us via PayPal, and there is no... Or buy our merch. Buy our merch. Take care, everyone. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next episode.